Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and nobody messes with them? They don't raise their voice. They don't try to dominate. They don't perform confidence. They just exist. And people naturally respect them. And then there are other people in the exact same room, with the same people, who get talked over, dismissed, and subtly disrespected. For a long time, I was that second person. People interrupted me mid-sentence. They canceled plans at the last minute like my time didn't matter. They made jokes at my expense, and I laughed along to keep things comfortable. But it wasn't comfortable. Every time it happened, it sent a quiet message. I don't matter. What I didn't understand back then is this. Disrespect isn't random. It's learned. People don't consciously decide who to respect. Their brains respond to signals, especially emotional ones. And without realizing it, I was sending the same signal over and over again. When I stopped sending it, everything changed. Not slowly, almost immediately. The same people who used to dismiss me started treating me differently. They stopped interrupting. They stopped canceling. The jokes stopped. I didn't get louder. I didn't become aggressive. I didn't turn into a different person. I just stopped doing one thing. And the surprising part is this. Most people do the opposite, without realizing it. Let's talk about the psychology behind it. 1. Emotional reactions teach people how to treat you. When most people are disrespected, they react emotionally. They explain why it wasn't okay. They defend themselves. They argue. That reaction feels justified. But psychologically, it does something important. It tells the other person, you got to me. And the human brain repeats whatever creates emotional impact. So disrespect keeps happening. Here's what works instead. When someone disrespects you, don't explode. And don't ignore it. You calmly name it. You look at them and say, that was disrespectful. Then you stop talking. No lecture. No justification. No emotion. This works because it breaks the expected pattern. The brain expects a fight or silence. When it gets neither, it has to recalibrate. I had a friend who used to mock my job in front of others. I used to laugh it off to keep the peace. One day he did it again. I looked at him and said, that's disrespectful. Nothing else. The room went quiet. He apologized immediately and never did it again. Not because I dominated him, but because I removed the emotional reward. And that was the smallest change. The next one affects how people value your time, even when they like you. 2. Constant availability lowers perceived value. Psychologically, value is tied to boundaries. When you're always available, answering every message instantly, saying yes on the spot, people unconsciously learn that your time has no weight. Think about doctors. You wait for them. They don't wait for you. And because of that, their time feels valuable. Now think about someone who's always free, always replying, always available. Do you treat their time seriously? Probably not. This isn't about playing games. It's about allowing space. You can say, let me check and get back to you. That pause alone changes how people relate to you. I used to reply instantly, even late at night. People expected favors without asking. When I stopped, something shifted. People started asking instead of assuming. They started thanking me for my time. Your behavior teaches people how to treat you. Quietly. 3. Tolerating discomfort teaches others what's allowed. Most people accept disrespect to avoid awkwardness. But psychologically, every time you let something slide, the brain records it as permission. If someone cancels plans repeatedly, don't say it's fine. Say, this keeps happening and it doesn't work for me. If a coworker takes credit for your work, say, actually, I did that. Not aggressive, not emotional, just clear. Clarity forces recalibration. People may test boundaries at first. That's normal. But the brain respects consistency more than politeness without limits. 4. Over-explaining signals insecurity. This is the most powerful one. When you constantly explain your decisions, defend your choices, or prove your worth, You're sending a signal that you're unsure. People who feel secure don't argue for their value. They state their position and stop. I used to explain everything. The more I talked, the less seriously I was taken. When I stopped, when I simply said, I'm comfortable with this decision, things changed. Confidence isn't loud. It's assumed. An assumption spreads. Final takeaway. All of this comes down to one psychological shift. You stop reinforcing behaviors that invite disrespect. You don't add anything. You subtract. You stop reacting emotionally. You stop being endlessly available. You stop tolerating what isn't okay. You stop explaining your worth. What's left is someone people naturally adjust to. I didn't become a different person. I stopped acting like someone who could be ignored. You don't need permission to be respected. Clarity creates change. Start there.